first time that I came into the set with makeup on, and I was very nervous to come out. And you looked at me, and your eyes were bigger than I've ever seen them, which is saying something. Yeah. You like beckoned me over like a dog. And then you started patting my head. And it was just the most sort of beautiful moment.
Hi, I'm Guillermo del Toro. I'm being joined by a bunch of scoundrels. We all had a blast, and now we're going to talk a lot, and you're going to listen. My condolences.
The very first day. We were losing the fog. It was actually much warmer than we were anticipating it would be. And we were out on a frozen lake, which we were like, should we be on this frozen lake? The fact that it's so warm out here.
A pickup had sunk into the ice.
I was getting this huge beard on. Then the call came in. We've got fog outside. Let's do young Victor coming out of the cave first.
And he said, we haven't rehearsed. I said, get in there.
Get it, exactly. No one's ready for it. The costume's like, dude, he's like, I gave them all steaks last night. Everyone should have enough energy to do it.
And then originally, Victor was going to have a streak of white hair.
I was like, I don't know, it looks a little bit like Johnny Depp and Sweeney Todd. I ran out, we were about to shoot, and I came up, I was like, look, what do you think? I don't know, I'm not sure if it's right.
There I go. Oh,
Victor's done. Go out there.
And we're done, and the fog lifted. And that was the first day. So everything was going wrong, and it went right. Cut. Very good. Let's go print and check the gate.
And Guillermo is one of the kindest people that I've ever met. He would invite me to set, and I would sit by his side and see how he directs and how he communicates with his crew, with his DP, and then in between sets he would tell me, you know, why the camera's this angle and that, and that was beautiful.
When you just had your daughter, I was very, very moved by the way your eyes looked when you talked about her.
Seeing the creature for the first time was one of my favorite memories. I was with my daughter at that time, and she just ran straight up to the creature, and there was a curiosity there. There's a childlike innocence in Elizabeth too, and so I kind of took that with me.
The only time I was in my face was when I was asleep. I just wanted to be on the set. Life was the thing that was in the way. The sleep was the problem. Like having to go home was the issue. If I could have kept it on, I would have the whole time.
There was this family of acrobats in a circus called the Walendas, and they used to do a wire act, and they said, life's on the wire, the rest is waiting.
Yeah, and it was 6 or 7 hours to do the top half, and then anywhere from like 9 to 11 hours to do the whole thing. I think he did like a spell or something. Yeah. He did some magic to make Mexican mushrooms to make the days extend.
You are an actor that 1 or 2 takes, that was it. We had uncanny delivery from you. So that helps a lot.
Being back in Scotland after like 6 weeks of not filming was terrifying.
When you came to shoot your final shot, which was on the beach, racing after the explosion, you arrived and you said, oh, I missed it so much, I missed it so much. And then you got all the prosthetics, 6 or 7 hours, and you came back and you said, I don't miss it anymore.
And then also, Lauston decided to put me in, like, there was this whole beach that was perfect, and he picked the grimiest puddle full
with the
of
most
like,
pebbles
and pebbles and bits of glass. And he's like, just put your face in there. And then it was like one more time with feeling. But then as soon as it started to go on, it was like I was very, very happy to be back in my little cave.
We met a couple years before in Guillermo's kitchen. Just a general meeting to say hi. No one had said anything about a film in particular. And then at one point, Guillermo just said, I think you need to be my Victor.
I said, I'm going to write it for you.
I was like, yeah, okay, cool, okay. We'll see, you know, because it just seemed too much to be able to really believe or to take in. I think he wants me to be in this thing. I don't know, we'll see. I'm not going to think about it too much.
Guillermo called me and he asked me if I wanted to be in the movie, and from that point onwards, it was just the most surreal, magical experience.
Yes, I like to communicate with cast and crew and all that through books. You got Life in the Nunnery, and we talked. I started writing the part for you, and then you went to convent.
I did. I was spending some time with nuns for a little while, which was very helpful. And there's like a quietness to them that I observed that was really helpful in me understanding Elizabeth.
Yeah, about a year in, you had 30 pages or something.
The opening and the closing, and we cried.
And we cried again. We read them, and we got very emotional. We cried, the ending in particular.
I started having method directing. Victor lost his mind a little, so did I. But the beauty of it is the moment when I recognized in pre-production that having the perfect cast and crew and all that, I said from this moment on, anything that goes wrong is going right. Anything that happens is happening for good. And that allowed me to be a lot more malleable as a person than I normally am.
Even in my journal, I had it from the first day that Guillermo seems to prefer takes that have some sort of serendipity or some spontaneity in them or something that goes wrong. This feeling of like, you're not going to fail. This is bespoke for you.
This is you.
And so whatever you bring, it's okay. And just arrive and be there, and that is going to be enough. Watch Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein on Netflix.
We never talk about my gym routine. Every morning. How much can I push? I push 3 sandwiches.